Yo, what's good, y'all, man? Hey, the Spurs versus the Thunder, bro. That's the series we got. So it's only right that we would look at how Wemby and Chet, how deep they beef is, bro. Cause I didn't even know that they was like that, bro. Y'all seen when they played in the series, it was a real competitive series, real gritty. That boy Stephon Castle's whole face was beat up. He had a busted look. So, like, before the game, it's only right that we look at this video, bro. Y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, man. Y'all see the number we at? We trying to get to 1,500. All right. Cut this up a little bit.
A subtle jab or some extra motivation for the next time they match up. In rare occasions, beefs grow into something more. Real rivalries with very real consequences. Man. But more often than not, the respect is
if only players can fight still, bro.
Is in the spirit of some good, admirable competition. But what if it wasn't?
Wemby
What if
versus
it got so out of control, it altered the very history of the NBA itself?
Nah, Wemby funny though, bro.
So much,
I wonder what he be saying.
Is met with consequence.
Oh my goodness, get you. Hey, that boy, hey, I see you this clip.
In the first place.
Wemby was tight.
Today's video is sponsored by DraftKings.
Golly, I'm trying to skip the video, bro. Bro, I'm trying to get this sponsor in. Alright, come on. Let me scale this up. Let's see. Cause Cher was ranked high in high school, I know that.
Players for the class of 2021 and 2022.
Imani Bates, bro. What happened to Imani Bates? And they had Chet looking like compared to Marcus Camby.
But in different orders. Chet 2, Wemby 3, Chet 1, Wemby 3, Wemby 2, Chet 3, Wemby 1, Chet 2. 2020 doesn't feel too long ago, but anyone who had Victor as the best prospect in this class was well ahead of the curve. Since at the time, he was just 16 years old and had about 10 months of film on his resume where he looked like an actual child trapped in a giant's body. Chet, on the other hand, was the #1 ranked prospect in America in his senior year of high school.
He was skinny too.
Committed to Gonzaga and nearly 2 years older than Wemby. Ironically, Victor wasn't even in the class of 22. He was a member of the 23 NBA draft class. This question should have never even involved Victor in the first place. But fate would have it that these two would be compared long before they ever even faced one another. Due to COVID restrictions,
that's crazy how skinny they is.
Potential interactions between the two were held off until the following season. But 7 months later, in the summer of 2021, Wemby and Chet would match up for the first time in their careers in a game that would spark the most heated rivalry in basketball today.
He said the most heated rivalry. So let me see, bro. I gotta see, because there's no way.
The FIBA Basketball U19 final came down to the USA versus France. The most highly anticipated matchup
USA versus France.
With a world championship on the line. As usual, Team USA had a stack
Is that Kitty Lofton, bro?
Future NBA players.
Jaden
Ivey.
Ivey.
Which include Jaden Ivey, Peyton Watson, Kenny Lofton, Ryan Kolkbrenner, and the best player in the country, Chet Holmgren. France? Well, they had a 17-year-old Victor Wembanyama, who at the time was already seen as the best prospect in the world, regardless of age. The freakish frames and tools of both Wemby and Chet sparking conversations of similarities between the two. Both slim, lengthy big men with offensive games far too sharp for
Straight sweet, bro.
and NBA-ready defensive instincts. Who's better? Who is the rarer unicorn? By the end of this game, those questions were answered. Victor Wembanyama was clearly a step above everyone else.
Look, okay. I just like ancient footage, bro. This is recorded 2-3 years ago, right? Lock. Give me that. Somebody had like 5 blocks this game. I know it. And one. Knock down. Okay. I want to see where they get to talking, bro. Oh my, another block.
Despite being the youngest player on the court and finishing,
I wonder if this is multiple games or just one. I think it was just one. He would crash you if he had 5 fouls. Dang, they won.
To add insult to injury, the tournament MVP was none other than Chet Holmgren. Wemby having to settle for a silver medal and a spot on the all-tournament team. Now, for most players
And he was
with
crying.
a promising NBA career, this entire tournament would be non-consequential, irrelevant within a few months. But Victor Wembanyama isn't like most players. As the awards were being handed out, Victor could be seen with a look of almost disgust. If you didn't know any better, you'd think France came in dead last by the way Victor
Damn, why he do his head like that? Hold on.
France came in dead last by the way
He just got them long arms, bro.
Head down, dragging his feet, disinterested in the whole thing. Appalled even that they didn't win the tournament and he didn't win MVP. A moment that Victor Wembanyama recalls as the worst basketball memory of his life, saying, quote, just thinking about it makes my jaw clench. It's a regret. An unfilled hole inside me that I have to fix. This quote
Got this feeling like we got that anime storyline.
Not the words of a kid ready to just forget and move on to a bright NBA career. Unbeknownst to him, Chet Holmgren created a void in the career of the best basketball prospect on the planet.
Ain't Chet gotta say them R's, my boy. Yeah,
It's necessary. Victor was going to spend
hey, look at Jaden Ivey, bro.
decade filling that void.
So the way it sounded like Wemby about to goddamn have 2010 average every game. But that's what he do. That is his average though. He about to have 30 and 15 rebounds, 5 blocks.
By the start of the 2023-24 NBA season, Chet and Wemby were slated to face off in their first NBA matchup. But this wasn't just their first matchup in the league against each other. Although Chet was drafted a year before Wemby, an injury sidelined Holmgren for what should have been his rookie season. And so not only would they be battling for Rookie of the Year that entire season, the very first game of the
Wait a minute. So if you get injured, you play your second year, you're still qualified to win. You can win Rookie of the Year in your second year. That's dumb.
Rookie of the Year that or what should have been his rookie season.
That's crazy.
So not only would they be battling for rookie.
Wait, so he didn't play?
Should have been his rookie season, and so first game of their respective careers.
Dang, that's
were, of
crazy.
course, against one another. Now, this was a preseason game. It should not have meant anything at all, and it didn't mean anything to anyone besides Chet and Wemby. Both of them going suspiciously hard in a preseason game in early.
I already know Chet about to get the flopping. Both of them, bro. Both of them be doing some little flopping,
and
bro.
It was Chet who outplayed Victor in just about every measurable way. And in the very first public stoking of the fire, Chet tweeted this after the game. As if Victor needed any more motivation. As if the kid that was left with a hole inside him that needed to be fixed needed any more fuel to the fire.
Headbutt.
Chet Holmgren just doused it with a
Headbutt there with the head.
world. And thus, this rivalry officially began. In his post-game interview, Chet was asked about his budding rivalry with Wemby, to which he had this to say.
I know you and Victor have been connected for years, even though you haven't played against each other very much. And he just was saying that
My bro got his
this is gonna
mouth
be
up.
the start of a lot of really good games against each other. Do you feel that way?
100%. You know, I played against him a couple years ago in FIBA, and you know, I plan to play a long time, and I'm sure he does too. So there'll be no choice but to go back and forth. So,
And he was right. There has, in fact, been no choice but to go back and forth. Even before their first regular season matchup.
I ain't gonna lie, I can't sit here and just watch the video and not see it. Bro, it was a mean Chet, bro. Every time I look at him, I just think about it. I don't know what it. I can't find. I don't know what the meme was called, but y'all know the more Chet memes that be posting.
Already being labeled
Bro
as
look
the
like a llama.
makings of NBA's next intense rivalry. By their
Or a
second
camel,
matchup of
bro.
the season, the intensity between them had already built up to the point where they were abandoning sets altogether to go at each other one-on-one. Wemby going out of his way to show Chet and the rest of the world there should have never been a comparison in the first place. The numbers on the scoreboard briefly becoming
Ain't Chet. I mean,
irrelevant
Wemby
in
look
these
dumb
moments.
tall, bro.
Now again, Chet didn't really even do anything to deserve this. An innocent bystander who just happened to cross paths with an alien in a FIBA tournament. But Wemby had a hole inside him, and he was fixing it. After the game, the media only made things
Dang,
worse by
they throwing
leading off
shoulders?
a slew of questions about the rivalry
Okay.
and what the two thought of it.
In terms of not matching up the right, you guarded him defensively, but at the same time,
It's like an anime storyline, bro.
obviously, like human nature, but to really be uncommon and not just do what everybody else does, you have to kind of fight that. And obviously, that's the headline that you guys have. That's what ESPN's promoting. That's what the NBA is promoting, and rightfully so. Vic's a great player. You know, I think I have a long way to go in this league, but I plan to be a great player.
He basically said the same as.
Against him the whole game.
What do you say? Hold on.
I mean, I wasn't matched up against him the whole game. My first goal is always to win, and I don't in a game like this, I don't think about that, especially in a loss.
First impression of these two unicorns and their potential in the league, it was a fairly even matchup. Wemby was great, but so was Chet. Their names still intertwined, and for many fans, they were each other's equal.
This is potentially the beginning of something special, not only for the two of them individually, but the two of them head to head.
I think both of these guys are studs. They're future stars. You think that there's a better version of me, or I've already bettered him in under 19? There's a competitiveness you see from Chet. I don't know about that from Victor yet. I believe that he is that dude because he has all of the talent and all of the skills, and he's mature beyond his years, as everyone says. But I do know that both of these guys seem like they're uber talented and they have some dog in them.
The league needs Victor Wembanyama. They need Chet Holmgren to be players that are transcendent.
This, however, did not last very long. By the end of their rookie seasons, Wemby had firmly asserted himself as not just the superior player, but the future face of the league. A season that was capped off with Wemby's first triumph over Chet.
From the #1 pick and otherworldly expectations to now the unanimous winner of Rookie of the Year, Victor Wembanyama lived up to the hype.
The unanimous NBA selection for Rookie of the Year, only the 6th time.
Oh, so he got a Rookie of the Year over Chet.
Has been unanimous. He was the 3rd #1 draft choice.
What has it meant? Everything,
Victor didn't just win Rookie of the Year,
Unanimous.
he won it unanimously. And, more importantly, he stopped Chet from winning it.
I mean, you can come up with 50 pros and cons for each of us on who's on our team, what we're playing for. At the end of the day, what is the criteria? This is my thing with all NBA awards. Like, what is the criteria? It's hard to. It's all in the eye of the beholder. So it's like, who has more voters that believe in their side of the criteria? I guess. Like, I mean, all credit to him for a great season and everything. And we're not rookies anymore. So like,
I mean, you didn't play.
That's still kind of crazy to me. I told y'all, bro. How the heck can you be in a award, bro? It's only rookies, and you technically not a rookie. You're a sophomore. I know you're going to get to experience your first NBA season, but, like, I don't know.
I played more than 82, though, so that's the rule on our team. We play more than 82.
Is that still?
Most of y'all don't get the chance, though, because most rookies don't get in the playoffs. You can't play more than 82, so,
As much as they tried to deny it, this was a rivalry, and it was built
That boy Chet.
And for just a moment, a small portion of that hole created in 2021 was fixed. But not for long. Wemby won this battle, but in the following season, Chet achieved something far bigger.
Why you want a DPOY?
By the start of the 2024-25 season, most fans had accepted that Wemby had taken a leap over Chet. Going into the season, Wemby had jumped all the way up the player rankings to 11th. Chet Holmgren, 32nd. Even in the description of his ranking, Chet unable to escape the expanding shadow of Victor's ascension. But despite the gap that he was building on Chet, Wemby was still unsatisfied with the fact that they were still being mentioned in the same breath. In fact, his disdain for Chet and the Thunder was only growing over time.
What happens
Look at
when
this
you bring
dude,
up
bro.
Chet to Victor?
Well, Chet is not exactly Candyman, but Victor will not even say the man's name.
Wow.
And that's pretty much been the theme ever since Victor Wembanyama arrived in San Antonio. I think it's because, that there is a real budding rivalry here. And on both sides, both of those guys are trying to take the attention away from the rivalry and put it specifically on the teams, Oklahoma City and San Antonio. That's what's going on these days. But I'm telling you, they do not like each other. They respect each other, but you'll see it manifest itself on the court.
As Andrew Schlecht of The Athletic put it, Wemby was creating his very own Voldemort. The kid was pouring mental lighter fluid on a fire that was already out of control. It only made matters worse when the Spurs acknowledged that they were using the Thunder as the blueprint for where they wanted to be in the future. It's the kind of motivation that can consume a man if he isn't careful. And Wemby was eaten alive by it. In their first matchup of the season, Chet completely outclassed Wemby, holding him to just 6 points in statistically his worst game of the entire season. On the other end, Chet had himself a game. The Thunder won the matchup, they were looking like early favorites to win the title, and the Spurs were still trying to figure out how they could possibly keep up. A performance that rekindled the Wemby versus Chet conversation. And before Victor could once again prove otherwise, he was dealt his biggest challenge yet.
Breaking news out of the NBA, according to our Shams Charania, Victor Wembanyama, the San Antonio Spurs star, is going to miss the rest of the season, with what Shams is reporting a form of a blood clot in his right shoulder.
Hey, I forgot about that too, bro.
The Spurs believe that this is an isolation.
While the Thunder were gapping the field and Chet was blossoming into a vital piece on a potential championship team, Victor was sidelined with a season-ending injury. What's the worst-case scenario for a man hell-bent on revenge and willing to do anything to get it? Being helpless and out of commission while your adversary is.
Hold on, was that Fine Castle hitting the vape? Hold on, am I tripping?
Being helpless and
he was on something else. I don't know what that was.
Basketball immortality. Well, actually, that's not quite the worst-case scenario, but this is.
Oh, they won it. You know they won the finals this year, bro. The Pacers, bro. Do y'all really think, if the Pacers, had Hallie and they was healthy, bro, would they have beat the OKC?
It almost sounds like a work of fiction. This whole saga.
That was crazy, though.
Man's rise to glory and his subsequent fall, idly watching his admittedly unjustifiable enemy achieve the ultimate goal. It's at this point where most players would probably let this whole thing go. Realize that this beef has gotten out of control.
So this crazy though, cause like, bro, these two teams, I feel like when both of them are healthy, like if Wemby was healthy last year, I feel like they would have a chance to compete against each other. Like, I don't know. And y'all finna see them have a whole, like, we really finally finna get a competitive series with a rivalry. And it's going to be a good series. And whoever wins that series is literally going to be, I feel like they're going to win the whole finals, bro. It ain't no East team that can compete with both of them. So, I feel like that's true. And, hey, we up to see a good game, bro.
On two different timelines with two different paths. It's just not worth it to hold on to something that, in the grand scheme of things, is so insignificant. But Victor Wembanyama is not like most players.
You personally have not faced this team since October 2024. You didn't know it had been that long?
I knew it had been long, but I didn't know it had been more than a year.
In what ways does
it's like a
today's
documentary
version of you approach that matchup differently?
I mean, much more experience in this league, in life, much more knowledge, I would say, of who we are as a team. It's going to be a totally different game than any before.
By the start of the 2025-26 NBA season, a lot had changed over the last year. Wemby was back and ready to play basketball again. He made another jump in the preseason player rankings from 11th to 5th.
Dang, top 5.
Jump of his own from 32nd to 24th. For the first time, Wemby was officially recognized as an NBA superstar. Oh, and Chet was now an NBA champion. And if
that's crazy,
Chet
bro.
win MVP in a U19 FIBA tournament created a void in Wemby, seeing a ring on his finger created a black hole ready to swallow up anything in its wake. When recently asked if he considers there to be a rivalry between him and Chet, Wemby said, "No, I don't think about that. At least from a basketball standpoint, there's no comparison between us." What is Wemby?
Hello, nah. That boy feel like that. He said he feel like there's no comparison in basketball at all between Wemby and Chet. That's crazy. I ain't gonna lie. That's crazy. I wonder what they be saying on the court though. Like, y'all, bro, we can get mic'd up. Bro, like the NBA don't be doing what they need to be doing, bro. We should be able to get like mic'd up, like finals game or mic'd up between Wemby and Chet. Both of them get mic'd up and we can hear what they saying on the court in the game. And we should get like, like an actual like episode or something after the games. Like NBA could be doing a way better job of promoting the NBA. Cause y'all heard, I know y'all been hearing the numbers been going down like before the season or like in the middle of the season. People was talking about the numbers in the NBA and this and that. But like they got to do way more stuff like that. Like that would be entertaining. You can hear what the players saying on the court. You know, even with the referees. And, like, stop finding these players, bro. Y'all wonder why it's not as entertaining because y'all finding these players and putting them in the goddamn, putting them on a leash and stuff because y'all don't want them to say certain stuff. And you got to take money away from them, bro. I don't like that.
There shouldn't be one. But maybe we should be asking Chet how he feels about the rivalry.
Do you consider yourself and Victor Wembanyama a rivalry in the league?
I don't think it's ever been up to players or teams to declare rivalries, so you're asking the wrong person.
They can just smile, bro.
What the fans or the media
get
think,
ugly.
there is nothing we can do about the 7'6" basketball demigod who's out for revenge. A man hyper fixated on specifically making sure you never one up him again. His disdain for Chet at this point no longer subtle or cordial. Fans and the media taking notice that this is not your average friendly back and forth. Wemby is a man possessed, and Chet Holmgren wants nothing to do with it. But while the Spurs were still trying to iron out some wrinkles and adjust to an evolving roster, the OKC Thunder were scorching the entire league. 10-1, 15-1, 20-1, entering conversations of OKC having a good chance of breaking the all-time record for wins in a season. And Chet Holmgren, the right-hand man to the league MVP, with much larger sights than a beef with Wemby.
We've already sort of gone down the road. He says that he and Wemby have never really spoken. That rivalry's happening. I don't care what anybody says. Is there a possibility that Wemby's a little in his head at the moment?
I think this thing is man-made.
Yeah,
listen,
we want this.
okay, they're both 7-footers and they came out back-to-back years or whatever, and Chet was hurt. Other than that, that's where it ends for me. Like the real rivalry, it's
Spurs and
levels to
OKC.
this conversation. The real rivalry to me is going to be SGA and Wemby. Those are the MVP candidates. Why would
SGA
an
and
MVP candidate have a rivalry with a guy that's not in that conversation? I think there's a lot of levels and a lot of layers to these conversations, and I think Wemby has graduated from that conversation of a rivalry with Chet.
It looked like there was nothing that could slow down OKC, and for some, this rivalry was a thing of the past. When it came time for these two to face off again, at least on paper, the Thunder were a better team in the midst of what could have been the greatest season the league had ever seen. But after
somebody gotta stop these, bro. Somebody gotta stop OKC.
Saw Chet on the court, and 4 years after Chet stole his tournament MVP, on December 13th, the day had come where he could finally get back to fixing that hole.
Missed the last 12, and he's getting ready to head on the floor for his first action since November.
Okay, they played in the NBA Cup.
No good. Another offensive board for Wembanyama. It's a different game now. Harper is lonely. Early in this game. Wembanyama goes down, gives it up. Sam Penny, 3-ball, corner pocket. Teardrop, no, blocked out of there by Wembanyama. San Antonio is quite a bit better with Victor Wembanyama. That's why you have to go get a guy with my experience.
They were. Come on. Okay.
Wemby's a plus 20.
Not a post up for a big like Wemby is at the high elbow.
Here's this matchup. Wembanyama with the
I already knew that was a block.
Wembanyama changes everything at the defensive end of the floor. Everything. Comes over to Wembanyama. Made the catch. Faded away.
That was tough.
I'm just bigger than you.
So the Spurs won.
You snapped their 16th game-winning streak, just their second loss of the season. We saw your emotions throughout this one, as everyone's saying that the Thunder is a team that is almost unbeatable. What does this win say about where this group is right now?
It says a lot, and it says a lot about where it's going to be in the future. I mean, that's only their second loss of the season. It means something.
That's crazy.
same starting five.
Hey! Remember this game. This nigga Wimby, bro. I be wondering what he be said. $20. Damn. Did look, he did. Oh my goodness. He did him like that. They played on Christmas too.
Oklahoma City Thunder, a burgeoning Western Conference rivalry.
Don't tell me they beat them 3 times in a row.
For the Spurs positively, both the offensive end of the floor and the defensive end of the floor. They're on cue. Wimby with the buy one, get one free. Right now. Sure feels like one. Wimby.
Hey! Nah, Jay will, boy. Jay Dub.
First of all, a spectacular pass by Wembanyama. Off the right action, Wemby pulls the three.
Not now.
Not only are they kicking their ass on the floor, but
So they lost 3 times in a row? 3 times. That's that belt, boy.
3 straight times. They pumped them 3 straight times.
How much fun was it to be back in the mix again after having to wait the last few weeks to play?
Oh, I mean, you can't imagine. Just get better, do some beautiful things. I just wanted to be a part of it, you know, and I'm glad that we can still do it when I'm here. I have no doubt, of course, but it's just, I'm just glad to be a part of something that's growing to be so beautiful and so pure and ethical basketball, you know.
Conjuring up what could only be described as superhuman levels of pettiness, Victor Wembanyama unleashed 4 years of frustration upon Chet in the OKC Thunder, beating a team that only had 1 loss in nearly 2 months and was well on track to be the greatest regular season team of all time, not once, not twice, but 3 times in a 12-day span, purely out of
12 days?
Now, of course, Wemby wanted to win these games, but the far more pressing matter was making sure Chet lost. At every conceivable opportunity, Victor made it abundantly clear that this was personal, morphing into Chet's very own boogeyman and playing each and every possession like his life depended on it. Flexing on him, throwing down.
Nah, bro, we be very. I ain't gonna lie, bro. From France, but like, you can't tell me that he gonna be funny. Like, wait, like what? Like, what is that? What's it?
But not only did the Spurs beat the Thunder 3 times in a 2-week window, Victor Wembanyama and his insatiable thirst for vengeance single-handedly derailed what could have been the greatest regular season of all time. The Thunder's record leading up to that fateful December 13th night, 24-1, on pace to beating the all-time wins record. Their record since that first matchup against the Spurs, 6-6. The record now well out of reach. Now, to say the Thunder have completely unraveled simply because Victor is a resentful man who is hell-bent on not letting things go may sound like a bit of an overestimation of the damage Wemby inflicted onto this franchise. Then again, if you told someone the future face of the NBA is still mad over a meaningless MVP he lost 5 years ago in an international tournament that nobody remembers and is still seeking revenge on the poor guy who stole it from him to this day, that would probably sound like an overreaction too. For the Spurs, these wins were a step in the right direction, a sign that they could really compete and beat the best team in the league. But for Wemby, these wins were retribution. One step closer to filling the void where that MVP should be. Intrinsic proof that there should have been no comparison, and that he is definitively better than Chet. A conclusion that all of us reached about 2 years ago.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. I actually want to see Wemby's stats in all them games real quick, bro. I want to see all his stats in them games, bro. Where ESPN at? Let me close out of that. Let me see something real quick. Let me see what Wemby was doing in these games. Dang, 4-1. They beat them 4 times in a row. They finally got a dub on them. Did Wemby play in this game? Nah, he did play. He had 17-7. Chet 8, 10. Okay. They finally got a dub. Then they won. This is the last game they played. Ooh. Chet didn't play in this game. Well, he did. Well, no, he didn't. When we played, he had 22. First time they played, Wemby had 22. He came out the bench, though. 2 blocks, 9 boards, 20. That's still decent, though. That's his numbers. I just clicked this. Same one. Yeah, that's the NBA Cup. Is that the same one? Yeah, the same one. I'm tripping. All right. Chet had 7, 3. Wemby had, he was on the bench. He had 12, 5. I'm going to look at one more, then that's it. I just wanted to see Wemby. So he was coming off the bench a lot of these games, but he had 19 and 11. So, like, we finally going to be able to see Wemby starting and playing against the Spurs. I mean, the Thunder. And Chet, like, he had, like, low scoring, but, like, he still has, rebounds, though. But y'all make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. Hey, the series start tomorrow, I think. So, hey, y'all make sure y'all be there, bro.